Alright, so wanted to go out and check out the greenhouse roof since I put it on, because really we haven't had any rain or anything since I put it on. I mean, we had a light rain at one point, but nothing, and it was at night, so I couldn't really check things out. But last night we had some sleet and a little bit of snow stuff, and I wanted to see if I could tell if anything was leaking, because there was some icy stuff on the roof, and I see it's running off the edge here. So I wanted to see how it looks on the inside. See how it's running off the edge a little bit there. Dripping down. So that looks good. I mean, I'm gonna end up putting a gutter system along this edge, and then have it so that it runs into a water catchment system that I can use in the garden. So that will be a future project, but let's see what's going on inside. Well, no drip spots on the floor. Had a couple of the plastic pieces and the part of the ridge cap out here, but this all looks really dry. And looking up at the roof with it covered in ice that is melting off, this gives me a good idea on whether it's going to leak or not, and if I did anything wrong. But I don't see any leaks. So it appears that those screws that I use with the grommets are working, the little rubber grommets, and aren't letting anything down in. Yeah, I don't see anything leaking on the boards. There's no sag. Not that I would expect this little bit of stuff to cause any weight issues for me to check out. But looks pretty good. It's dry in here. Now if I can just get all these windows on. Got a lot of work to do to get the windows prepared to get in here, and I just have not got to that yet. I did get most of this back wall on here. You see the plastic? And then I've got this section cut out here where a window will go. I have not done the very top section up there at the top edge, so that still needs to be covered in the plastic. And then all of this will be windows. And then this will be a window here. I still have to cut out that plastic piece section. And same thing with on the other side of the front door. That right there needs to be cut out. Really, I should have pre-cut it before I attached it. What I found is it's a lot easier to cut this plastic before you put it up. Like this window was all pre-cut out. I cut the pieces before I attached them to the wall. It was much easier than pieces that I've tried to cut after I got them attached. So live and learn kind of thing. Garden looks pretty sad this time of year. This door, there we go. But I started cleaning the beds out, just kind of bits and pieces. I did some earlier this week, and I'd done some before. I still have some beans and peppers here on this hoop to pull out, but most of the big beds have all been cleaned out now. And what I've started doing is I've taken ash from the fireplace and put it in here, as well as all the rabbit poop and litter from Buford downstairs, and started adding that for amendments to the soil. Had a leftover butternut squash out here that looks like some squirrels or something have tore into. They've got it all shredded apart. And then not much is going on in the hoop house that I built, or the little plastic hoop that I built over the raised bed that I had the earlier video on. Although you will see, maybe, I don't know if you can tell through the plastic, but there's a lot of green leaves of the cabbage and broccoli going on in there. But what this effectively did was give us cilantro through Christmas. Because half the bed was cilantro growing in there, and it lasted until Christmas time. So that was pretty awesome, and I'm hoping it will protect these cabbage and broccoli plants enough that are in there. If I can lift this up without all the snow stuff on here, but they're still surviving. Purple cabbage looks amazing. I mean, they don't look great. I mean, the purple looks great, but the other green cabbage and stuff is looking a little sad. However, it's still green. It hasn't all died off. So this may be, if we can get through February, maybe they'll survive and we'll get an early crop. Oh, look, here's another. That one got all hollowed out by something too. I'm guessing probably the squirrels. Maybe some mice out here too, I don't know. So, still have to get more of the beds cleaned out. And then this whole section back here needs to be really cleaned out, because this is where the new chicken run and chicken coop is going to go. So this trellis where the scarlet runner beans were, that's going to be gone, moved somewhere else. And then these first two beds here will be taken out as well, because this over here, as well as that whole grapevine project I did, yeah, that's all coming out, because I am going to move the whole chicken run back here is what the plan is. I've got to get the chainsaw out and get rid of that big, well, I say big, but I mean this old dead pine tree needs to go. It's been dead for a while, and so I need to cut that out, as well as change up a lot of the fencing back here, cut out some of these smaller little brush trees that are growing in, because we're kind of changing the whole design to move the chicken run and the chicken coop back here behind the greenhouse instead of in front of it. So that way what we can do, and this right now is what my plan is, so we'll see how this all comes out. I've got a very short period of time to get all this stuff done, so I don't know how it's going to work. But so got the front portion of the fence up here of the garden in front of the greenhouse. This will come out. This whole chicken run. Hey chickens! Chick chick. What are you doing, chickens? This whole 500 square foot chicken run, it's coming down. Took me a whole summer to build it, and now I'm going to take it down and start all over again. But the idea is, because right now it's kind of an aesthetics thing for the backyard, because I don't think this looks great, and I want the greenhouse to be the focal point of the backyard when you're looking out from the back of the house. So right now it's hidden behind this whole chicken run and the chicken coop. So I want to take that all down and move it to the back corner, then expand the garden all the way kind of up here to the edge of the driveway almost. And this whole area during the summer gets sun most of the day. Now the shade from the maple tree above the deck there does expand out over the afternoon, but a lot of this stays pretty sunny for most of the day. So this can all be expanded garden in front of the greenhouse, which I think will look a lot better than having this big chicken run here. And then another thing that I would like to do, hopefully, is with this section down here, Got Mitzi's tea plants that have still been surviving for the last 2 years right here. But when this fence comes out here and this chicken run is gone and moved someplace else, I'd like this whole area here next to the greenhouse to be a pond and a waterfall. So we'll see if I can get that dug out and put in and installed. And then the pond pump that would pump the water up to the top of the waterfall would come off the greenhouse, because I'm gonna have the greenhouse wired for electric, because I've got already in boxes, I've got a ceiling fan. Got a ceiling fan, a couple of vent fans for either side of the peaks, and then I'd like to put in some GFI plugs and some lighting, some outdoor lighting, as indoor and outdoor lighting in the greenhouse for if I want to be out here at night. But if I can put a GFI plug out on the outside of the greenhouse like you would if you had a pool, that would then I could plug in for the pump to run the pond waterfall feature. So you know, here we are at the end of January, and I'm not even done the greenhouse yet. And here I want to tear down this whole chicken coop and build a whole new one, or chicken run. The chicken coop we can just move down to the back, but building a new chicken run around it, putting in a pond and expanding the whole garden up. I do not plan on building any more raised beds this year for the expanded garden. It's just going to be in the ground. So that will save me a little bit of time, but still a lot of work that I'm going to have to do. Chick. Penny Lane. Penny Lane's been staying by herself a lot recently. She seems healthy, but I think she is at the bottom of the pecking order, and so she always waits until everybody else is done eating before she goes in. And I feel bad for her because I think she's been picked on. And I'm not sure why that's changed. That's something that's more new. And I guess the pecking order does change as time goes on, but seems like everybody chases her around. Meanwhile, Peep, the white one over there, is the newest member. She's one that hatched in May, but she has definitely integrated herself in with the rest of the flock, and she seems to be the one that actually picks on Penny Lane a lot. So she's definitely moved up, and she's actually pretty big. She's bigger than some of the other hens, and she just started laying eggs this week. And she also gets along with Merle really well and hangs out with him a lot, our rooster. So it's almost like she went from being this scared little peep to somewhere near top of the pecking order. And maybe a little bit of a bully. I don't know. She might take after her father that way. So all these hay bales are still in here. They're kind of covered in ice right now, but they seem to have helped reduce the mud issue in here, since we didn't get as much mulch and wood chips in as we wanted. And the chickens like to walk around on them a lot. They are frequently, on days when there's not ice, up hanging out, roosting on the hay or straw bales, walking around on them, and they seem to like them a lot. Right now they're all hanging out over there under that little lean-to area that I put that gives them a little bit more shelter, because there's no ice or snow over there, so it gives them a spot to scratch around when it's a little bit more icy. Alright, so we'll see how this all goes with getting this whole chicken run moved and the garden expanded and the greenhouse done, and become really energetic getting the pond done. But I'm happy to see that the roof on the greenhouse is not leaking. Looks good. So there's the update from our little homestead this week. Hope you guys are having a great winter so far. Getting close to spring, getting close to planting time. Got some videos coming up on starting a garden, planting a garden, and all that kind of good stuff. So I hope you stay tuned. Please subscribe to our channel, and I hope everything in your neck of the woods and your gardens, your projects, whatever you're doing, hope they're all going well. And we'll see you again soon. Namaste.